Right, so we're edging towards Christmas, so a lot of you guys are going to be looking at things to buy, whether it's for yourself or somebody else, and new golf clubs and stuff, and there's a whole raft of new golf clubs on the horizon in the new year as well. But today we're going to focus on something from the second-hand market. Now, second-hand stuff is a great way to buy yourself a bargain. If you don't want to spend £450 on a new driver and you want to get something that's maybe a year or two old, that's probably equally as good, it's a fantastic opportunity to save some money. But there is one driver that I think you just shouldn't buy. Right, so we're edging towards Christmas, so a lot of you guys are going to be looking at things to buy, whether it's for yourself or somebody else, and new golf clubs and stuff, and there's a whole raft of new golf clubs on the horizon in the new year as well. But today we're going to focus on something from the second-hand market. Now, second-hand stuff is a great way to buy yourself a bargain. If you don't want to spend £450 on a new driver and you want to get something that's maybe a year or two old, that's probably equally as good, it's a fantastic opportunity to save some money. But there is one driver that I think you just shouldn't buy. Right, so we're approaching Christmas, so it's a great opportunity to go out and buy yourself something, or you might want to buy something for somebody else. But you might not want to spend £450 on a new driver. So a great idea is to dip into the second-hand market where you can get something that's a year or two or maybe slightly older and save yourself a significant amount of money. But there is one particular driver that I do not recommend. It is very, very difficult to hit. I'm going to show you today why and which driver it is. It's a tailor-made one, so it's a big product. It was a few years ago, and this is it. It's the tailor-made SLDR driver. Reason is this has to be the hardest driver to hit that I've hit. So this is the smaller one, the 430. Reason is it just doesn't generate any spin, and now you need backspin in a driver to help keep the ball in the air, but if you put too much on it, it's going to hold the distance back. Now, a few years ago, all of the manufacturers, Callaway, TaylorMade, all of them, they were all doing things to lower spin rates, so loft up, lower the spin, because that's going to get the ball out there. And it does work. This thing goes like an absolute rocket when you hit it, but when you don't, it's rubbish. And that's the problem, that you do need a level of backspin to be able to control the flight. So backspin will stop the deviation of the left and the right, reduce the amount of hooks and slices that you can hit. But if there's not enough backspin, the ball's just going to dip out the air and fall down, and you're not going to gain distance. So I'm going to show you this club here. So this is the 430 head. It's a 12-degree driver, and it's got an X-Lec shaft in. So let's have a look, and I'll show you the sort of numbers and the reason why you wouldn't want to buy it. Right, so to look down on, it's quite a deep squat driver. It's not sort of put down on the floor. It's not got a very deep head that you often see, like the classic sort of pear drop type shape that you see with like a modern Callaway Rogue. It's quite a squat driver, quite small. Right, and this has got it has got an Adela X-Flex shaft in, so I've got it on a nice high tee. Let's have a couple of swings and see how this goes. Now, it's fair to say that felt okay down the middle and it's relatively straight. So let's have a look. Right, not a brilliant drive, not bad first one. That for me, that's against that, that's not bad. It's slightly lower spin rate than what I probably would like to see. Yeah, so let's, this time slightly off centre shot, let's put it out the toe and see what happens. Yeah, not out the middle, definitely not out the middle, and there you go. That's the problem. Very, very low, doesn't get airborne, whips to the left, and extremely low spin rate. And again, so I hit bad shot. This one out the heel. Actually felt better than it should have done, to be fair. It was closer to the middle than I'd liked, but it wasn't a great shot. Low spin rate again. Just doesn't seem to get the ball in the air. Let's try and hit a slightly more normal shot. Right, so that's the shot that I'm talking about. That felt all right. It's a decent shot. Against those sort of numbers, decent launch angle, decent sort of speed and stuff like that. But when it's hit well, it's very good. But what I want to compare it to is my current driver. So this is Right, ping G400. So when you put this driver down, in comparison, the back of the head seems to sit a lot further back and closer to the ground, so it's that slightly more classic line, if you like. That's going to give it a greater moment of inertia. That makes it easier to hit. So rather than having the squat looking driver, it's definitely bigger. And like that's not a particularly good shot, but absolutely no problem at all getting it in the air. And that's the key. It's like there, you can see there wasn't a good shot, but it's really sort of spun up, which isn't great. But that's what I'd expect to see. When I hit a bad shot, I'm looking for, you know, you're going to see more backspin. Definitely going to see more backspin, and then that's going to alter the distance, but like there, it's giving it a lot more peak height. Speed-wise, it wasn't too quick, but yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, see there, that again. So in comparison between this and the TaylorMade, you can see that was a relatively, you know, centered shot, getting around about 2,300, 2,400 on this backspin. If I move out the way, you can probably see that a little bit easier. But with the TaylorMade, it doesn't get to that level, and you've got to be really careful that when you know, the temptation is to get a club that's got to go a long way, and obviously the TaylorMade will. With the lower spin rates, it definitely will go a long way, but it's not necessarily something that you want. You do need something that's going to spin it a little bit, because then that's going to help get it in the air. It's going to help the big deviations in the left and the right. So you're going to hit more, reduce the amount of slices and hooks that you hit. So backspin can be your friend. I would very much steer away from that TaylorMade club and get yourself something else. You don't have to go out and buy a brand new one. You can get something from the second-hand market, but you can definitely get something that's better than that. Steer away from that club. Guys, listen, I hope that you liked the video. Please take the time to give the video the thumbs up. Really helps my channel. And please, if you want to, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, because that would really help. We're trying to grow this so that we can do a few more videos.